started. Bro, they're connected. I messed it up. We should have Lady in the Transom, though. We should have Lady in the Transom.
No, let's not. Let's just get this started. Not going to do that one.
Listen. Welcome back to Lessons from the Inside. Grab your drinks, grab your snacks, grab whatever refreshments you want. I am your host with the most, Carl DEBOSE. This is my co-host close to home, Mr. Kendrix HOLCOMB. We got producer Sophie behind the camera, behind the tech today, and we got Mr. Tech Lex with the setup. Look at this background. It's beautiful. Bro, you want to know something that, like, really messes me up, low-key?
What?
Like, things that shouldn't be embarrassing that are embarrassing. Like, you know how, like, when you drop change out of your pocket and, like, you gotta, like, pick it up? That really messes me up. But, like, real world stuff, like, growing up, being an adult, like, listen, I might get in trouble for this, like, buying like, condoms. Like,
okay, I was gonna say, why is that the first thing you went to? I get what you're saying now.
Because I was like, so, like, it shouldn't be embarrassing, but it's so embarrassing.
For some reason, I don't know why. Because we're being safe at the end of the day.
You are, but
being
like,
what you're supposed to do.
But like, there's that feeling of like, man, like, the people are
trying to judge me hard.
It was crazy. Is that condoms, like, among other brands, really, you never really see commercials for them. Like, I mean, you do, but like, you see them on social media.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Because I remember the very last commercial I saw for a condom. This was the funniest thing for me. Couldn't tell you what the brand was to this day, but it was so funny because in the commercial, like, the dude was being tempted by like his girlfriend's sister, and he like ran back to his car.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. It
was so funny because it was like it shouldn't have been as just like weird as it was, but like the fact that you could find it on Instagram versus like, I think maybe it played on YouTube, but like, you're not seeing it on TV.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's so smart how like businesses cater towards like what the world is now when it comes to like marketing to I guess their target audiences. Like my boss, he actually taught me about I think it's TAM, SOM, and TOM, and it was like,
what's that?
Okay, so TAM, I'm probably not saying this in the correct order. I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably not. But TAM is target available market, which is like the full 360.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I want to say SAM or SOM is like, dang, I wish I had my notes because it was like so good. I have my notes. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I got my notes.
I wish I had my stuff from last year. I was in a marketing class, and this was the type of stuff that he hit on, like getting that actual broad perspective, seeing where you want to go, and then narrowing it down from there, and trying to hit those specific points, like that certain target audience. Because while certain businesses, they have products that can be used by everybody, it's not for everybody.
No, and that's what he was talking about, because it's TAM, which is target available market, total available market. I'm stuttering. That's so bad. I gotta do better. Sorry to my listeners. Our listeners is a team. And then SAM was like the smaller, which was like the serviceable available market, and then SOM was the serviceable obtainable market.
Okay.
And like, when you look at business like in the real world versus like in the digital space, it's so crazy how you can hit those different aspects of how business works, and like how you're gonna like grab your audience based on that, but like evolve it to like, cause that whole business structure was made way before like digital.
Yeah.
And so like,
what's that?
When you evolve it, it's almost like this. It's crazy how just well it caters to like us, because like, again, like there's this underwear. I think it's
underwear.
Like, yeah, it's underwear. It's underwear, and it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like cradle underwear. It's like
cradle. What is cradle underwear? Like diapers?
Almost. So like it's like got 3 different compartments. One for your giblets, one for your jewels, and one for your giblets. One for your giblets. And like, they do their marketing so well. Like it is crazy how well they like.
Where have you been seeing this at? Because I haven't.
Instagram. I choose Instagram and TikTok.
Maybe I just don't get on enough. I ain't ever seen no giblet underwear.
You never seen the giblet underwear? Man, I want some. Shout out to the companies that make that. If y'all want to sponsor us, I will wear it and I will rock it.
He'll rock it. I don't.
I will.
I'm not gonna lie. I need a little bit more insight before I start doing anything like that. But he got you.
I do. It is the coolest thing. I remember when I was working at a bank and we had Secret Santa. I told them that's what I wanted for my Secret Santa.
Some giblet underwear.
Yeah.
Cool. You got that one, Bucko. I can't do that one. Bro.
They advertise really well. I mean, like, I haven't looked into like the revenue, but I'm sure they're making some sort of money. So I'm happy too.
Dude, like something like that, like with that business, that's like such a niche market. That's like very specific. And that's a lot of things that like these businesses like have to consider, you know, actually when starting up or doing things like that. You got to consider like what type of stuff that you're going to do.
Oh, 100%.
And that goes for whether it be in digital space or real world.
Yeah.
So like that company that does that, like they knew that they were like, all right, men have either this problem or this is a certain thing that we feel like we can expand on for men. So here we go with this product. And like they can't stay in that lane forever. Like it'll get to the point where if they gain the audience and traction that they want, they're gonna have to start growing, and then they're gonna have to branch out, and they'll be able to expand their audience at that point. And you know, just stuff like simple things like that you have to think about. Like big thing is product. What is it? 4 P's: product, placement, promotion, and people, or something like that. I can't think of it. This is really wild because I'm a digital marketing major and I'm forgetting everything that they're taught us. Yes, I pay attention in class. No, I don't cheat.
I didn't.
Look, that's another story. But yeah, so like just businesses in real world, but like I feel like we have it a lot greater now because we have the ability to choose which one we want to like dive into. But like back in the day, like older people, say Ford, he wasn't able to like start a company on his cell phone if he wanted to. Mm-hmm. They didn't have anything like that back then. Mm-hmm. He had to go out there and build the engine, build the actual vehicle, and then get it out there to people and start marketing like out there.
Yeah,
that's like I love this day and age because like we have the option to choose. Oh, and like both of them have their own like ups and downs and different routes that they can go, but you know it's a beautiful thing to see.
Oh, I don't disagree. I think like especially with this podcast in particular, like as well as like mixed in with what I do for work, which is one aspect is helping to like I guess launch businesses or consult businesses rather. Mm-hmm. Like I have to take the knowledge that I have about social media and like it's hard, but like you said, like I'm not out here building engines for like a car company and telling them, oh yeah, try this one. Yeah. Like, and even the companies that do that, like Dodge, they built a they call it the Hellephant engine. The Hellephant engine. That engine is power. Like I could not even. Hopefully, maybe we'll get Sophie to like put the metrics of like what that Hellephant engine is, because
right there in the middle.
Just right there, because the Hellephant engine is like. It's crazy powerful, but Dodge was smart about it. Mm-hmm. They didn't build like 1,000 of them and start like distributing them because one, I don't even think they dropped till like this fall or something like that. But two, like they started advertising it with digitally, and people are already ordering this $30,000 engine block, like before it like. And it's crazy because we're switching to like electric cars because that's how the world is evolving and changing. But Dodge still knows what they're doing. Yeah. And they're like, oh well, the digital market space is what's bringing us the most revenue. I'm gonna show you this engine. I'm gonna show you the last call chargers and challengers. But I'm not gonna do it through like traditional commercials. I'm not gonna waste billions of dollars on traditional commercials. Nah. You already know what it is. You see all the videos on Instagram of people going ghost and like leaving. Don't do this, but leaving like the cops in the dust.
Drive responsibly.
Oh my gosh! Because there was one that I saw today while I was today while I was at the auto body shop.
Mm-hmm. Some cops will do anything they can to get you. Drive responsibly and safely, please.
Let me tell you, he went ghost and crashed. I really hope all of them are okay. He crashed into the back of a pickup truck so hard, both him and the truck like rolled to like the other side of the median. I was like, good God. Like, was it really worth it? I'd have taken the ticket at that point.
I would say, yeah.
Like, because I love my car.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, dude, we know.
Answer picture, no.
We know you love the car.
I love that car. But like, and granted, I mean, it's only a V6, so I mean, I'm probably not getting. It's tuned. It is tuned, but I'm still not getting away from the police. But even if I like had the power, like I'm not sitting there and wasting time.
Yeah.
But again, Dodge knows that these videos are out here showing that like the Hellcats and the Scat Packs, 392s, Shaker, like all of them, even the Hellcat Durangos and the Trackhogs, like they know that those videos are out there making traction for them. They don't have to do anything. They could never put out another commercial for these cars and people would still buy them.
Good. But they had to work their way up to that point.
True.
So
that
like
is true.
big thing in the business world. Last week we talked about it with our guest Sydney. Consistency. They weren't able to just pop out with a new product and after 15, 20 years of just not having anything, they had to be able to keep creating that sustainable product. Keep coming out with those vehicles that people actually got a hold of and like, this is a nice vehicle. It drives well. It runs well. Parts are easy to good and good. They last long and everything. And like, it's just, that's a big aspect of, getting in this business world is staying consistent with whatever you do. That's something that will get you eventually to where you want to go. And if not, it'll get you farther along than where you started.
That's facts.
Big key piece.
That's right. And like people, I think where the digital space fails us when it comes to business is that like you'll see on TikTok, these are the 5 steps to start a business, but it doesn't show you that like statistically speaking, the first 14 months of having a business, it's gonna lose money. Yeah. It doesn't show you that statistically speaking, the first, I think it's 3 or 5 times that you start a business, it's gonna fail. Yeah. Like it doesn't statistically show you. It doesn't sit there and show you how hard it is to get an LLC, how hard it is to file, like figure out which, whether you need to file as like an S corp or like how you need to file your taxes. It doesn't show you any of that. Yeah.
Dude, when it comes to like digital space stuff like that, like that's the bulk of what my TikTok is legitimately. It's either spiritual stuff, conspiracy theories, or business stuff. Because I do a lot of my own research in my own time, but you'll be surprised at how many like blanket statements you'll see about, all right, you want to start a business? Here's the 5 things you need to know. Not knowing that those processes take more than just 2 weeks or 3 weeks. That's stuff that like, depending on who you are, depending on like the type of stuff that you have, if they rely on your credibility or something like that, that's stuff that could take years possibly. Like you can't just start something tonight and get it done. Some of the stuff is able to do like that. So you can just, pop it out and then you'll be able to at least get the requirements to keep it going. Absolutely. But the big thing is like sometimes people don't even really have an idea of what they're doing. No. And like that, so they don't understand that you're going to have to fail at first. And when something goes wrong or when something fails, they don't like that. That discourages them so bad that they'll just drop everything right there. Yeah. And like that's something that you can't do. Like if you're really serious about becoming an entrepreneur or not even becoming an entrepreneur, just trying to establish a business or something like that, failure is part of it. Failure is key to your success because failure comes from a mistake that you didn't know was present or that could happen, that happened, and now you're aware of it. It's just all about how are you going to react to it? Are you going to allow it to discourage you and sit you down and make you go back to working that regular job? Or are you going to take this, write it down, log it in your notes, and recognize that this is a problem that you have to worry about going forth and what other problems can transpire from this one? All about how you look into it.
That's absolutely correct. Like, I remember my boss, he was telling me, because, of course, he owns a bunch of businesses now, but I remember him telling me that, like, when he got to America, he came with, I think he said $240 in his pocket. And, like, he had, like, the good ideas for businesses, and I wish I could tell them, but he, like, swore me to secrecy. But, he had, so their ideas that he told me, and I was like, these would be $1 million ideas. Like, there's no reason that these businesses would not take off. He's like, I just didn't know what I was doing. Like, and the man, like, he studied abroad. He took Harvard classes. He studied in Europe. Like, he took business classes, and he still recognized that it took 50 plus failures, I'm sorry, for him to, like, now be in the place where he's like, he's in a completely different tax bracket because he's so smart and so business savvy, and he tells me all the time. He's like, and this is like, I say this with all the humility that I have in my heart. He's like, Carl, if I was where you're at as far as like, you know, intelligence or understanding, when it comes to business, at 20, well, I'm 23 now, so at 23, I'd be a billionaire. And I was like, take these expectations off me, like I don't need that. But it's crazy because it's not like it's such a normal thing for us. Like the things that I do for him, I remember he asked me to gather some data, and he like today he was like, you did incredible. He was like, that like in such a short amount of time you did this. I didn't have the heart to tell him that I did that in an hour. Because like one, I think that when it comes to business, you do have to be humble. Still talk your shit. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Still grind until you can like talk your shit. Yeah. But there has to be that level of humility. And so like a lot of like what I do in the time frame that I do for him, I won't tell him. Like if it was in a very small time frame, but it was like he's impressed. Yeah. You don't even know the time frame. Like now, if I messed it up, yeah, I'll be honest. Like I did it in 30 minutes. My bad. I apologize. Yeah. But like the other piece of it is because if I told you to do the same thing that he told me, you'd probably do it faster. Because like you said, you paid attention in those classes. Like so you know how to critically think. Yeah. I would venture to bet before digital marketing, before the digital space became a thing, that reality piece of business was that like you had to learn how to critically think on your own, and I hate that. I hate that so much. We are so blessed to be in an era where like you can look at these TikToks telling you, oh, this is how you run a business, and you can think critically of, yes, but there's this, and this sub steps going into step 3. Yeah. Like,
see, something like that is what your boss went through. What Isaac went through was. A lot of that is a lot better than classwork, because like no matter how much that I pay attention in classes, no matter how much my professors tell me, it still can't account for everything that could happen. Yeah. And like a lot of the learning about business and learning about what can go on in that world is real life hands-on experience. That's a big part of that. Everybody has different learning styles. I'm not an audible learner. I'm a kinesthetic or kinetic. One of those.
Like hands-on?
Yeah. Like, I have to be doing something, doing the action. I can't watch a video. I can't listen to nobody talk. I can't take notes. I have to, like, be immersed into a situation and, like, actually be proposed to think through it logically or have to do it myself in order to gain an experience. That way I can be like, okay, so we were doing this. This is how I see it now. This is how it's going to happen, and this is how it can happen. Yeah. And it's just better getting those hands-on experiences. Like, it took 50-plus failures. So sometimes that has to happen.
Oh, 100%.
Exactly. It has to happen. That way you know exactly how to thwart it, how to overcome it, and how to better prepare for it in the future.
Oh, yeah.
A big part. And I feel like that goes into something else when it comes to business is, you know, remaining disciplined in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the song? It's a song by a rapper called Young Manny. He had a bar. It was a slight bar, but it's something I pay attention to lyrics when I listen to songs rather than just beats. He said, motivation ain't real, this is discipline, cheese. And that's something that a lot of people don't think about. Like, a lot of people that I talk to or I've seen videos about when they're trying to do something, pick up a new activity, pick up a new hobby, start something new, they always be like, I'm not really motivated, or like, I lost my motivation real fast. Motivation isn't something that's gonna carry you. Motivation is like a spark from a lighter. A spark from a lighter is like quick, but it burns out faster. If you don't have nothing to catch, like no gas or anything to actually catch the flame and start it, you're not gonna go nowhere. It's just gonna be a spark. That's why I feel discipline is a real big part of anything you do.
It's cooking. It is cooking. You gotta take it out the stove. Let it cool down just a little bit, because this man is cooking.
One thing I like to say, I just recently developed this motto, was desire and discipline are a match made in heaven. Because the desire for whatever you're doing will affect your discipline. And I know sometimes we have days where we don't feel like we want to do anything, or like we just aren't in the mood for it. But that's where that discipline comes into care. You have to think about, okay, if I like this much, then is this gonna affect me long term, or do I have the love to put into it to actually do it when I don't want to do it? That's a big thing I found out about, going to the gym and stuff like that. Like, this is something that I need to do, that I feel it is gonna help me in the long run. But some days I don't feel like getting up. Some days I don't feel like going. But I gotta have that discipline to be like, all right, you're here, just do this. Take it one step at a time. And if you keep taking it one step, you're right there. You're gonna get there. You're gonna reach the finish line eventually.
I agree with that. I think another piece of business that goes hand in hand with the discipline is like being able to take criticism.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Like that was so like I have an LLC for personal training. Again, don't hit me up for that. But I have an LLC for personal training, and when I was 20 is when I got it or filed for it. And I started doing it at 21, and what I didn't realize was like I was not mature enough to like handle certain levels of criticism from like people who did experience, like failure in business.
Yeah.
One post that I do see from time to time is like surround yourself, like if you want to be somewhere, like whether it be a famous actor, football player, basketball, whatever, like if you want to be anywhere, surround yourself with people who have already been there or who are further ahead than you, that can tell you like, this is how you do it, this is the mistakes I made.
Yeah. So
now at 23, I know it's like only a 2-year difference, but now at 23, I do have the discipline, the patience, and the humility to sit there and be like, oh, okay, well, if I do such and such with this business, I think it's gonna work. He just graphically poked holes in my plan. So instead of getting upset and being like, well, I'll prove you wrong, it's like, oh, okay, well, let me take what you told me.
Yeah.
That's a really big thing in my job. That is a really big, anytime I present any change to a business, any consultation related task to a business, like anything, he's always like, before you tell me anything, did you poke holes in it? I'm like, yeah, sure, yeah. He's like, okay, so you're ready to have this conversation? It's like, yeah.
He'll poke a million more.
54. Like I
million
swear.
more.
And I think to myself, like, dang, like I feel defeated. He's like, don't feel defeated. It's not, your character is not under question over this.
Yeah.
Learn from it. Like, you know what? You're right. Like, you're absolutely right.
Something that goes hand in hand with that is, I don't know, me personally, like sometimes when it comes to these things, when I have an idea that I want to launch on, I don't necessarily where the poke holes at. Like,
yeah,
because especially if it's something that you've never done before, you don't know what could go wrong. You don't know what, like, it could be something that you never would have thought about in a million years. Something that seems like it could be galaxies away, or like it's unrealistic, and that could be the thing that happens to you. And like sometimes it's just like you never know what the thing is that could go wrong. That's why it is good to have people around you who've done it before, or at least like touched on it. Mentors are a big thing. Me, a few years ago, I was a part of a group of people, a group of financial people. They dabbled in stocks and the foreign exchange market. They were a group based out of Houston. Shout out my peoples. Still love y'all to this day. I don't do that anymore, but that time of my life was one that was weird because it's one that I felt genuinely like ecstatic to get up and do what I did. I worked for my computer, everything that I did. I attended training seminars and things like that, but just having conversation with those people and like actually being able to go meet them. Like we took a trip out to Florida during the summer. We went to a convention out there. Amazing. That's where I saw DaBaby, Coi Leray, some more billion-dollar baby artists. But being able to communicate with those people and just listening to their experiences and the things that they've done, like it propelled me further than I believe that I would have ever gone if I'd have tried to do it myself. Because sometimes you don't even know where to start. Sometimes you don't know where to go, and you just need that hand to guide you.
Oh, 100%. And that's why I always talk about my boss, because he was a mentor first. He was a mentor first. No, he was a brother first, a mentor second, and a boss third.
Yeah.
He never... What's amazing about him is that he never calls me an employee, ever. He's like, you're my partner. Like, okay. At the end of the day, I report to you, but okay. Like, but he's like, no. Like, for example, I thought that my title would be like a personal assistant. And he was like, you're not a personal assistant because a personal assistant does tasks. You are actively helping me further my businesses. And I was like, So like one of the business you saw Monday, one of the businesses, like I work there kind of.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out like the ins and outs and like help with certain things. And like a lot of people will see it as like, oh, he's just an errand boy. And that's why I don't tell people what I do. Like, because I'd rather you think that I'm an errand boy and you see me pop out like 5 years later, like running my own like that business, and then other businesses that I just started and be like, dang, like he did his thing. He worked his way up from the ground level. Yeah. Then realize what I actually do and be like, oh, well, he was just handed that. Like, cause and granted, that's not to knock anybody that's handed certain things, because like if you're handed the keys to a business and you double the profits, power to you. Like, I'm proud of you. You did amazing. But when you talk about mentors, I think that that's a piece that people don't really like pay that much attention to, which is sad, because mentors will take you like dramatically further than
you doing it on your own.
Right. Like, if I didn't have a mentor, I promise you I'd probably still be at the bank. Not that the bank is a bad job. Like, I loved my team, but I'd probably still be at the bank, like, depressed and not getting to do what it is that I want to do.
Dude, mentors are great, bro. I've had a few mentors, people that, you know, that have just helped guide me in life and do things that I want to do, and you never realize how much that they help you. Yeah. And like how good that relationship benefits you to this day. Like, one of the mentors that I had, I still follow her on social media. I have her on Instagram, and I see the things that she's doing. Like, whenever, like, I guess we all kind of like fizzled out from what we used to do, but you know, we still stayed in contact, still talk to each other every now and again. But she didn't like take any time off. She legit hopped into another market right away.
Really?
Yeah, like, I don't know if I said this on the last episode, but she, on Instagram and YouTube, she grew her following in a month or two tenfold, like 40,000 people, 40,000 subscribers. And the key to that, she was just being consistent with it. Post, reels. Something that Sydney told me after we got done and we were ready to head out, he grew his Instagram following by just posting every day. It don't matter, like, just a random picture or a random video or something like that, posting every day, because you posting every day, it'll put you in that algorithm. Even if it's content that people are starting to like, even if it's getting a little bit of traction, it'll put you out there and, like, allow people to see you. And if enough people see you, enough people will like you. Yeah. That's why a big thing about doing that is doing stuff that you like, because if you like it, somebody else is bound to like it too. And that's 100%. How you gain that following that, you know, will help if you're trying to do a business or if you're trying to start something in the digital space. A lot of times those followers or those colleagues that you have will help you propel that. Like me, like I've said this a few times, it's going to come out, I promise you, sometime soon. My YouTube channel. I know a few people have said that they'll support me. You know, 100%. Few of my friends, things like that, they said they'll watch. And, you know, they watch it. Hopefully they'll spread the word to their friends and get me out there more. Yeah. But it's all about having those connections first.
That's why, truthfully, I'm, like, super thankful for producer Sophie. Because, like, I was telling, shout out producer Sophie. But I was telling a friend of mine at church about the podcast, because I'll word of mouth this podcast so much. I'd be like, hey, John, are you following the podcast? Like, but without producer Sophie's help, I don't think that this podcast would, like, I looked at the analytics, and, like, I think right now we're at 34, 35 subscribers, somewhere around there. Yeah. But I looked at it, and I was like, the moment she joined is the moment that we had 15 plus in, like, 14 days. So averaging a subscriber a day, I was like, dang. So, like, and I know she'll text you and and she'll be like, hey, what do we caption this? Like, or she'll post something on her own. And I told her, I was like, I want you to have creative freedom over it. Yeah. Because I know who I am as a person, and I'm going to forget. I'm going to 1,000% forget. But with her, like, at the helm, she has grown our following, and she's done well. She's done phenomenal at it. And, like, it's amazing looking at that because, like you said, like, if we can crack jokes all the live long day, give her a bunch of content to like post and like, you know, every single day.
Yeah.
But like without her at the wheel for that, we're staying at what? I think the Instagram was at like 20 or 30 followers when she like touched it, and now I don't look at it. Like, it'll show me notifications. I'm like, yeah, Sophie's doing her thing. I don't even do anything.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not messed up about it.
I just repost. That's all.
That's all me. Yeah.
Repost. That's it.
I'm telling my parents, I'm like, hey, go ahead and share this for me, big dog. They're like, send me a link. I'm like, which platform? My dad actually did that. He was like, send me a link. I said, which platform? They started talking about like water, liquid death.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I was like, how did we get? Okay, whatever. I'll just post it on Facebook and call it a day, I guess. But like, yeah, it was. This is a side note. This is a whole different tangent. But like, my niece and nephew were hanging out with them, and they were like, yeah, it's weird seeing kids drinking liquid death sparkling water. I was like, it's liquid death is like a bear hug to your esophagus.
There's a liquid death sparkling water?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, maybe they'll sponsor us one day. So I'm not gonna speak how I feel about that. But
I think you just messed that up.
I probably did. I'm not a fan. It's kind of like the whole water burger thing. I'm not a fan.
I didn't even know about liquid death, so I'm not even gonna say anything. I don't have any thoughts, negative or I'm neutral. I'm the neutral.
You're gonna gain the sponsorship back.
As a matter of fact, if y'all want to send us something, I'll try it over. I got you, bro. I'll try it over. This food from the had and all that.
I'd be willing to give it another chance. I'm not gonna lie.
See,
I definitely would be.
But that's what I said. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but no, yeah. It's consistency is key with like anything when it comes to business. And I know cause I know there a friend of mine. She was like selling plates, and like I was helping her market it like heavily. And then she stopped. Granted, she had a good reason, and she got pregnant. So like, it's a little bit harder, and I get that.
Yeah.
But like, consistent, and shout out to all the pregnant like entrepreneurs, like, because that is insanely tough. Like, watching her do her thing while insanely tough. But like, I think I would venture to bet that if her and I had teamed up for me to just like take her pictures and take her videos and like make her promos every single day,
yeah, that
girl would probably have her own restaurant like in the works. Which granted, I mean, she probably will. Like, I don't doubt it, but it's just one of those things where like, because of hurdles like that you haven't jumped over yet, I mean, you're facing those challenges, and that's okay. No business is without its challenges. None. So I mean,
and one point that we were talking about earlier that I feel like is something good to hit on is businesses in media. So like certain movies about businesses, how they don't encapsulate all of what happens. Like a lot of the times, what was that movie? We watched one in my organizational behavior class about this $1 billion lady. Oh, I can't think of what the movie was, but she was a lady of $1 billion clothing company, and like, she had the stipulation of how she treats her subordinates and how she wanted everything ran, and then this one girl came in and was legit switching everything up on its head.
Is that The Devil Wears Prada?
Yes, that's exactly what that was.
That's a good movie.
Dude, it was. No, it was. But like, it was, just showing the ins and outs of how this lady grew her brand to this big and was running everything in the way that she saw fit, and how this one person came in and like switched it up on his head entirely.
Yeah.
And like, it was just weird to like, this is how she chooses to do things. Like sometimes you feel like it wouldn't be a good way to run a business, because like a lot of her workers were scared of her rather than having that friend boss connection, that boss and worker connection.
Oh yeah. But like, I think, to your point, I think that doesn't fully encapsulate like what all, like, because the movie was, granted, it's been years since I've seen the movie, but like, when I think of business movies, I think of The Wolf of Wall Street.
I was thinking about that one too,
because that one like is fairly accurate to like, not the like illegal stuff, as far as like the drugs. I mean, maybe, I don't know, but man, was that like an interesting lifestyle that they were like for what, a good few years.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't do it, but I get it. I understand, like, but like when you look at movies like that and you like break down the nuances of like what they were doing and how they like were effectively marketing. Well, granted, I mean it was stocks, but marketing like what it was that they were doing, making sure that they like did that again illegally, but making sure they did things in a way that like benefited them. You can take the positive parts of what they were doing and like kind of apply that to like any business you run. You could apply it to a sock making company, and it's like, dang, like I'm already on top. Like, and when I was a part of a certain organization back in college, a lot of the I'm not.
Yeah, I say don't say that.
Yeah, but that's a whole other. Maybe during the college episode, I'll explore that. No, I won't. Anyways,
no, better just steer clear.
Yeah. But a lot of the members of that organization who were no longer active members of that organization became entrepreneurs, and like one thing I didn't realize was like being a part of that organization. Sorry for all the drama with that. It taught you like how to effectively run or be a part of a business in multiple different ways, and so like. For my job now, I have to plan a fairly big event, and like I'm taking the piece. I used to be fundraising chair. We'll call it fundraising chair for that organization, and so I had to plan events.
Yeah, you were. I remember that.
Yeah,
that was my year too when I came here.
That was a rough time.
Hey, I that was first thing I did. That I know how you feel. I know how you feel.
But
I know exactly how you feel.
The skills definitely translated like after the fact as far as. What I do now, and so like, and I think that's why my mentor / boss / brother really is like super impressed. That's why I would say like anybody that's close to me and knows like what I'm doing past just like my job and even past the podcast, like I think that's why they're so impressed, is because like I while I did not pay attention as much as I should have in class, I definitely picked up, like you said, those hands-on skills that I learned through planning events or like getting sponsorships or sponsor us.
One thing I will say, just an unpopular opinion. I'm sorry if I offend anybody, if I hurt your spirit or anything. But when it comes to college and the idea of it, I'm not a fan.
Oh my gosh!
But what I am thankful for now that I've had the chance to experience it is it does a lot more than just take your money for a useless education.
Yeah,
I could have dropped out of high school, started a business on my own. So many people have done it. It's possible. You can do it. But what college has allowed me to do is further explore myself as a person, and not only that, build connections, networking skills, and me deciding to get out there and be a part, try to be a face on this organization. I mean, not this organization, but the campus. Joining these different organizations, you pick up different skills, those hands-on skills, event planning, secretary skills, treasurer skills like budgeting and things like that, like stuff that you never knew that you really thought you needed, how it translates into the real world. Phone skills, customer service skills, just how to talk to people. Like these skills are so vital, and that's what I feel like the main purpose of college is for me, in my opinion, is not for the education, but for building these skills and picking up on these habits that will help further project you within life.
I agree. I 1,000% agree. And my girlfriend,
The girl.
I don't know how I was gonna.
Same thing you do with your nephew, the boy.
No,
it sounds like Thanos.
The boy. I love when my sister asks me like, "Oh, where is blank?" I'm like, "Oh, you mean the boy?" No, but my girlfriend, like, that's a conversation that like I do wonder if I'm ever gonna have with her, as far as like if we were to get married and have kids and all that, because she is so talented. She's so incredibly smart. Mm-hmm. She is actively like going after her master's and her doctorate. But I've never been a school person.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. And
so it's almost like this whole like, you see mommy and you see daddy. Mommy is like Dr. such and such. Or DEBOSE, ideally. Dr. DEBOSE.
Yeah. But
daddy is like just Mr. DEBOSE. How do you explain to him that like college was not the be all end all, or is not the be all end all for whatever you want to do. Because, like, she wants to run a clinic, and I told her, I was like, I you know, of course I love you, and so, like, my goal for you, or for us, I guess, is to be able to use the skills that I've learned through what I do to be able to help build that clinic up. So whether it's money, time, my knowledge, whatever, to build that business up. But when we do have kids, they're gonna see both sides of that in her thing, because it's like she spent at that point 8 years learning, or 10 years really, learning what it takes to like be a, I don't want to out her. I really, it's hard to talk about.
Yeah.
But learning how to be a doctor in her specific field versus this guy who really like barely spent 3 years like in college, like wasn't really showing up to, I mean, I was showing up to class. That's not fully true, but whatever on that. But like, how do you tell him, like, if you want to go to college, I'll support you, but if you don't, I will also support you. Like, and I'll teach you what it looks like not to, and I'll teach you what it looks like to. Like, that's such a hard thing to wrap my brain around.
I mean, I don't think, like, that's just something that you'd have to sit down and have that conversation with the child about. And, like, explaining to them that it isn't the end all be all, and there are these different pathways that you can go down. And, like, sometimes, like, I love my dad to death, but he's a real traditional type man.
Yeah.
Go to college, go to school, get that education, and work and, you know, make the money, put it down on your table. You go to work, you find a good job that you'll be happy with, build your retirement, get your different accounts, you know, that you can save up for it after you retire, and do all that. But this new world is different. It's different. We don't have to do that anymore. No,
absolutely. This new world, you can build a podcast and monetize that. Hey. It's like, I'm saying, and I do get like where parents come from as far as like, oh yeah, you have to, like, because that's what you know. Yeah. Like that's what you know as far as like, this is what society said you're supposed to do, is go to college. And what was weird was hearing how Southern females were told, like, oh, you got to be pregnant by. Yeah. That was so strange to me. Yeah. So like the nuances there are just so drastic. But
one more point that I'll say before we wrap up is
wrap it up like a bow.
When it comes to that, dude, like that's something that I thought about with my parents a lot. Is like when I started doing some of the stuff that I was doing, you know, in the digital space that was alien to them. Yeah. Some of the first, they were like, okay, we'll support you, but that's dumb, that's stupid, like, you shouldn't do it. Yeah. And I get where they were coming from. It was something alien that they didn't know how it would work out or if it would work out. And you know, I felt like they used to say they said stuff that I wasn't the best for me. You know, you always got to support your son and all that. But you know, some of the, like, one comment that they made was, all right, this your life, you're gonna mess up anyway. And I was like, that's one thing that I don't think you should say to your kid, no matter what they do. But I couldn't fault them for it, because this was something very new, very alien to them that they didn't know how it was going to work out. They, from what they heard, is straight negative connotations around it. They thought it was going to fail. So I think greatest thing about, you know, this new age is it's a new space. It's a lot of new stuff to learn. Yeah. And the older generation just might not get it. But that's why I love going to college and stuff like that, is building up and picking up on the knowledge that this is a new space and there are these new avenues that we can take. That's
real. That's absolutely real. And I can't wait to dive further into that with the college episode. Hopefully, maybe we'll have a guest. I doubt it. But maybe. No, there is one person that was kind of like on me about a college episode. Yeah. But nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed your drinks. I hope you enjoyed your snacks. I hope you enjoyed whatever refreshments you want. Debate topic for the week: who has the best fries? It's Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King.
So when we talk about fries, do seasoned fries count for that, or is it just plain fries?
I will take seasoned fries for that.
Okay.
I'll take it for that.
My top is Popeyes.
Popeyes does have some bomb fries. Popeyes has some real good fries.
Popeyes hit, boy.
You know who, like, when I was dabbling in my college adventures, the fries that I would get, like, at 2 a.m. was probably McDonald's. But I love Burger King fries. I love, like, the just getterness of the fries. I don't know how to explain it. Like,
no, they get it. Yeah,
they are, like, they taste like, man, I just came from the hood.
That's a hot take. That is a hot take. I love Burger King burgers. Fries,
their burgers are pretty solid. Charbroiled. Listen,
that's neither here nor there.
Listen. I just just want to point out that merch is coming. I promise you it is. This is what, week 3 at this point that y'all have seen this, but not seen it. So I promise you merch is coming. Ideally by episode, what is this, 5? So episode 6. Ideally we'll have it ready for you. But, producer Sophie is on it. So you'll probably see it before you even see the episode. Shout out her. Let me tell you. Anyways.
No gang signs.
That being... I don't even know gang signs.
That's okay. Let's just not.
Lil Wayne once said, he was like, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm so bad about that.
Let's get it.
Anyways, I love y'all. Y'all have a great day. Thank you for tuning into Lessons from the Inside.